Students, in previous class we discussed about solutions and properties of solution, preparation of saturated and unsaturated solution, factors affecting the rate of dissolving. In this video, we are discussing about suspensions and colloidal solutions. To understand about the suspensions and colloidal solutions, we will perform an activity, finding of heterogeneous mixtures, suspensions and colloids. So first take some chalk powder in a test tube and take a few drops of milk in another test tube. Take some chalk piece powder in one test tube and take few drops of milk in another test tube and add water to these samples and stir with a glass rod. So in first test tube we took chalk powder and in another test tube we took milk no and add water to these samples and stir with the help of glass rod and observe whether the particles in the mixture are visible. So after some times observe the particles in the mixture are visible. Can you call these mixtures as solutions? Now do the following steps and write your observation in the table given. Step 1. Direct a beam of light from the torch or laser beam on the test tube and observe the path of the light through the solutions. Means now take a torch light or laser light and pass that light into the test tubes and observe the path of the light through the solutions. Next, second step, leave the mixtures undisturbed for some time and means leave the beakers like that only for some time. Third see whether the solute settle down after some time. So when we leave the mixtures undisturbed for some time, the solute settle downside after some time and observe. Third step, filter the mixtures and observe any residue found on the filter paper. So third step, filter the mixtures and observe any residue we can see on the filter paper. So we can observe this. Here we follow the three steps. No, what are that? First step, we pass the beam of light, and second step we undisturb the solutions. Then what happened? The solute is settled downside or not, we should observe. Third step, filter the mixtures and observe is there any residue will form on the filter paper or not. Okay, so see here, first step, chalk mixture. Okay, so here one table is there, observe the table. So we in these four columns there, in first column we are written mixture, in second column is the path of light is visible or not, and third column we are written did solute settle down, and in fourth column we are written residue is seen on the filter paper or not. Okay, so first what we took, chalk mixture means chalk piece and chalk piece powder and water we took. Okay, so here when we send the torchlight or laser beam into that, can we see the path of light? Yes, we can see the path of light. So when you are leaving that, when you are undisturbed the test tube like that only, is there any solute settled downside? Yes. Next, when you are filter the mixture, can you see any residue on the filter paper? Yes, we can see residue on the filter paper. Okay, what is the meaning of that residue? Means chalk piece and water we are added now. So take one filter paper, keep that filter paper in the funnel and keep that funnel with filter paper in the beaker and pour that solution of chalk piece and water. So water will go inside and chalk piece powder will be left on the filter paper, that is called as residue. Okay, so this we observed in the case of chalk piece mixture. Okay, next to second what we took, milk and water mixture we took. Okay, so when we pass the beam of light, we can see the path of light. Yes, we can see the path of light. So when we undisturbed the test tube, is there any solute settled downside? No, we cannot observe any solute in this. And when you are filter the water and milk mixture, can we see any residue on the filter paper? No, we cannot observe. So in the chalk mixture, the particles of a chalk are settled at the bottom of the test tube and on filtration. So we can observe and on filtration we can observe the residue on the filter paper. So in the chalk piece mixture, the particles of chalk piece are settled at the bottom of the test tube, and when we are filter that mixture, we observe some residue on the filter paper. Hence, we can call the chalk piece mixture is a suspension. Next, in the milk mixture, the particles of milk are uniformly spread throughout the mixture and no residue found on the filter paper. So, in milk mixture, we cannot see the milk and water particles separately. Why? Because that milk are uniformly spread throughout the water and no residue is found on the filter paper. Hence, the milk mixture is a colloidal solution. So, the milk mixture is a colloidal solution. So, we find that the particles of chalk don't dissolve but remain suspended throughout the volume of water. So, these chalk piece particles are not dissolved in the water but it remained suspended throughout the volume of water. So, the mixture we got is a heterogeneous mixture because of the solute particles did not dissolve and the particles are visible to naked eye. Such heterogeneous mixtures are called as suspensions. Okay, so in the chalk piece and water, these chalk piece particles are not dissolving in the water, so it is a heterogeneous mixture, and the chalk piece particles are suspended throughout the water. Okay, the particles are visible to our naked eye also. So these type of heterogeneous mixtures are called as suspensions. Suspensions are the heterogeneous mixture of a solid and liquid. Suspensions are heterogeneous mixtures and is formed from solid and liquid. So in which the solid do not dissolve like a mixture, in which the solids do not dissolve like mixture of soil and water. Okay, suspensions are nothing but suspensions are the heterogeneous mixtures of solid and a liquid, and the solid do not dissolve in the liquid. Okay, and mixture of soil and water also we can say one of the example for suspension. Okay, let us consider the mixture of oil in water and kerosene in water. These are the special kind of suspensions are called as emulsions. Okay, so mixture of oil and water, kerosene and water, these are the special kind of suspension. This we can call as a emulsions. Okay, this mixture consists of two liquids that do not mix and settle into the layer with they left undisturbed. So here chalk piece powder not dissolving in the water and soil also not dissolving in the water. Okay, so like that oil also not dissolving in the water, kerosene also not dissolving in the water. So this oil and kerosene form a layer in the water. So we can call this also as a special kind of suspension, and we can call that special kind of suspensions as a emulsions. We can call them as a emulsions. So here these oil and water, kerosene and water, these are emulsions. No, these are formed from the two liquids. Okay, that suspensions are formed from one solid and liquid, means chalk piece powder is solid and water is liquid. Okay, so here these oil and water, kerosene and water also what are the suspensions, but these are formed from two liquids that do not mix together and that form a layer. Okay, in activity 5, particles of milk in the second test tube are uniformly spread throughout the mixture. So when we add milk and water, the particles of milk in the second test tube are uniformly spread throughout the mixtures. Due to smaller size of milk particles, it appears to be homogeneous, but it is a heterogeneous mixture. So milk particles in second test tube uniformly distributed throughout the water. So due to the smaller size of this milk particles, it appears to be homogeneous, but it is also one of the example for heterogeneous mixture. Okay, due to smaller size of the particles of a milk, it appears to be homogeneous, but it is also a heterogeneous mixtures. These particles are easily scatter a beam of visible light. So this milk and water particle easily scatter the light. Such mixtures are called as colloids or colloidal solutions. Okay, these mixtures possess the characteristics in between a solution and suspension, so they are also called as colloidal dispersion. Colloidal dispersions maybe appears homogeneous but are actually heterogeneous. Okay, so when we add milk to water, so in that which are milk particle, which are water particle, we cannot observe. Okay, so that which are milk, which are water, we cannot observe. Okay, so we can say that is one of the example for homogeneous mixture. So this is having the property like homogeneous mixture, but is it actually homogeneous? No, it is a heterogeneous mixture. Why? Because when we pass the light into that, it scatter the beam of light. Means this is having this we know that solutions are example for homogeneous mixtures. Okay, solutions means lemon juice is there, like lemon juice, salt water is there. Okay, that are example for solutions. Okay, so this solution not scatter the beam of light, that we discussed in previous classes. Okay, water when we send light into that is not scatter the beam of light. When we add some water to that, it scatter the beam of light. This we discussed in previous classes. So here milk and water, that is appears like a homogeneous mixture, but this is not homogeneous. It is an example for heterogeneous mixture. Why? Because when we send the light into that scatter the beam of light. Means this milk having the properties like homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. Why? Because heterogeneous mixtures are scatter the beam of light now. So this milk is having the properties like homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. So that's why we can call that as a colloids or colloidal solutions. These mixtures possess the characteristics in between the solution and suspensions. So they are also called as colloidal dispersions. These colloidal dispersions appears maybe homogeneous, but they are actually heterogeneous. A large number of substances such as milk, butter, cheese, cream, gels, boot polish, and clouds in the sky, etc. These are the some more example for colloids. So colloidal solutions are heterogeneous in nature and always consist of at least two phases. Colloidal solutions are heterogeneous in nature and that consist two phases. One is disperse phase, another one is dispersion medium. Okay, colloidal solutions consist of two phases. One is disperse phase, another one is dispersion medium. So what is the meaning of disperse phase and dispersion medium? Now we will discuss. Disperse phase is the substance that present in small proportion and that consists of particles of colloidal size 1 to 100 millimeter, okay, micrometers. Okay, so disperse phase is a substance that present in small proportion and consist of particles of colloidal size 1 to 100 micrometers. Okay, so dispersion medium is the medium in which the colloid particles are dispersed. Okay, dispersion medium is nothing but that is the medium in which the colloid particles are dispersed. These two phases can be in the form of solid, liquid or gas. So thus different types of colloidal solutions are possible depending on the physical states of a phases. Disperse phase is the substance that present in small proportion and it consists of particles of size from 1 nanometer to 100 nanometers, and dispersion medium is a medium in which the colloid particles are dispersed. Here are some examples of colloidal from our daily life given. So we can see some example for colloidal types like fog, smoke, milk, face cream and foam, rubber. These are the example for colloidal types. And we studied that the particles in a colloid solutions can easily scatter the beam of visible light. So particles in a colloid solution that scatter the beam of light. This scattering of beam of light is called as Tyndall effect. You know that the colloidal solution can easily scatter the beam of light. The scattering of beam of light is called as Tyndall effect, named after the scientist who discovered it. You may observe this effect in your day-to-day life when the fine beam of light enters to the room through a small hole or slit. You can try to see the Tyndall effect at your home. So this we can observe in our daily life. So in our home also, when the fine beam of light enters a room through a small hole or slit. Select a room where the sunlight falls directly through the window. So to see the Tyndall effect, select one room at your home where the sunlight directly falls through a window, and close the windows in such a way that a slit is left open between the windows. So close the windows in such a way that the slit is left open between the windows. So close the windows and keep some gap, small gap between the two windows. Okay, don't close the windows completely. What do you see? You can also observe this phenomena while walking on a road. Okay, so here we have to select a room where the sunlight is falling through the window and close the window. Don't close completely, keep some gap when you are closing. So, and observe the sunlight is passed through the window, we can see the path of light. So we can say this is one of the example for Tyndall effect. So that is path of light. So you can also observe this phenomena while walking on a road having a lot of trees on both sides. So we can observe this phenomena when we are walking on a road when it is having a lot of trees on both sides. When the sunlight is passed through the branches and leaves, you see the path of dust particles. So when you are walking through the trees which are on the both sides of a road, so from the sunlight is passed through the gap between the trees, and we can see the path of light. In that path of light, some dust particles are moving. Try to observe the Tyndall effect in kitchen. The smoke from the stove is exposed to light. So the smoke from the light, when it is exposed to light, so then also we can see the Tyndall effect. So we can observe this Tyndall effect in cinema halls also. We can observe this phenomena in cinema halls also. Have you ever get an opportunity to of going through the deep forest? If you go through the deep forest, you can experience this effect. When sunlight is passed through the dense forest, mist contain tiny droplets of water which act as a particles of colloidal dispersed in air. So here the sunlight is passed through the gaps between the trees, and we can see the path of light in that. So now we will discuss about the properties of suspensions and colloids. Suspensions are heterogeneous mixtures. Colloids is also a heterogeneous mixture. The particles of a suspension can be seen with naked eye, but in colloids the size of the particles of colloid is too small and to be individually seen by that are too small, so it is somewhat difficult to see with our naked eye. So the particles of a suspensions scattered a beam of light passing through it and makes its path visible. Colloids are big enough to scatter the beam of light passing through it, which makes its path visible. The solution particles settle down when it is kept undisturbed. When the particles settle down of the suspensions, breaks and it does not scatter the light anymore. Okay, the solid particles are settled down when they kept undisturbed. Okay, they don't settle down when the suspension is left undisturbed. But in colloidals, then what happen if we undisturb that? Then the solute particles are not settled down. Suspension is unstable. The components can be separated from the mixture by the process of the filtration and decantation. The components cannot be separated from the mixture. In the colloids, the components cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. Centrifugation technique is used for the separation. And suspensions are heterogeneous mixtures. The particles of suspensions can be seen with naked eyes. The particles of a suspension scatter the beam of light passing through it and make its path visible. And the solid particles are settled down when the suspension is kept undisturbed. When the particles here the solid particles are settled down when the suspension is kept undisturbed. Suspension is unstable. The components can be separated from the mixture by the filtration and decantation process. Colloids are heterogeneous mixtures. The size of the particles of colloids are too small to be individually seen by the naked eye, and the particles of a colloids are big enough to scatter the light passing through, which make its path visible. The particles are don't settle down when the colloid left undisturbed. The components cannot be separated from the mixtures by the process of filtration and decantation. Here the components can be separated from the centrifugation technique that is used for the separation. So what we discussed in this video? In this video we discussed about suspension and colloids. Okay, so we discussed about the suspensions and colloids with activity, and we discussed about what is suspension, what is colloids, what are emulsions, what is disperse phase and disperse region, and Tyndall effect.